Søren Kierkegaard believed that much of human suffering comes from avoiding the truth of who we really are. He taught that anxiety is not a flaw, but a signal, a sign that the soul is asking you to make a choice, to live more honestly, to step away from the life others expected you to live, and into the life that finally feels like your own. And he believed that the second half of life, the years after 60, is when this truth begins to rise from beneath everything you've carried. He wrote, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom," meaning the fear you feel is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are standing at the edge of a new beginning. Kierkegaard would say that the later years are not a time of closing, but a time of choosing how you will live. Now that the noise of the world has quieted, now that expectations have loosened, now that your life belongs more fully to you than ever before, you may feel that you spent decades living for others, for family, for work, for responsibility, for survival. You made choices because you had to, because life demanded it, because people depended on you. But now, your choices can be different. They can be yours. Kierkegaard believed that authenticity is not about being perfect. It is about being honest. Honest about your desires, your fears, your regrets, your longings, your limits, your truth. He taught that many people live their entire lives as strangers to themselves because they never pause to ask, "What do I actually want?" But after 60, this question becomes clearer, not more complicated, because now you know what matters. You know what no longer fits. You know which relationships nourish you and which ones drain you. You know what feels peaceful and what feels heavy. You know how you want to spend the time that remains. This clarity is not a burden. It is a gift. Kierkegaard believed that the greatest regret is not choosing wrongly, but not choosing at all, remaining stuck in a life that feels too small for who you have become. He would invite you to make gentle, honest choices now, choices rooted not in fear, but in truth. Choose the relationships that bring warmth. Choose the routines that bring calm. Choose the activities that bring life back into your spirit. Choose the people who make your days lighter. Choose the pace that feels humane. Choose the freedom to be unhurried, to be real, to be yourself. Kierkegaard taught that authenticity begins the moment you stop performing for an audience that no longer exists. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to please everyone. You do not need to hide your pain or your hope or your softness. He believed that the soul matures when it becomes honest enough to set down the masks that were once necessary, honest enough to stand in the truth without apology. The later years of life hold the quiet courage to finally say, "This is who I am. This is what I value. This is how I want to live." Kierkegaard wrote, "To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself." You have lived long enough to know the truth of this. You have lost your footing many times, and yet you are still here, still growing, still capable of choosing. Your later years are the time to dare gently, to move toward the life that feels aligned with your soul. Not dramatic changes, not sudden leaps, but quiet shifts in attitude, in relationships, in pace, in what you allow into your heart. He believed that every authentic life creates peace, and that peace does not come from the world. It comes from choosing each day to live as the person you were meant to be. Your time is not over. Your choices are not gone. Your soul has not finished speaking. Listen, choose, live honestly, and allow the second half of your life to be the beginning of your truest self.